What is going on, my dudes? Tystra here, back again with another This Week at Bungie, or the TWAB as most of us know it, for May 27th, 2021. Now, if you guys weren't here last week, we obviously got the Vault of Glass raid, and it was fantastic because we streamed it live on twitch.tv/59gaming1. But we did stream it, and hopefully you guys had a lot of fun as much as I did. But we're not here to talk about that today. But before we get into the news, let's go ahead and, and throw out the little shameless promotion. Subscribe and like the video down below. Also hit that notification bell, as we would appreciate all you guys to do so. But go ahead and get started. This week at Bungie, it's been another jam-packed week of Season of the Slicer content. Guardians have infiltrated deeper into the Vex network through a new Expunge mission, and the new Override 6-player activity now available on Tangled Shore. Get in there and help Mithrax stop the Endless Night. So yes, Expunge, the new activity, had started this week. It's a really easy activity, but it's a lot of fun, and I highly suggest all of you do it. It's really fun. It's not that hard, but they're going to be adding more difficulty, or more difficult versions to it. So over the weekend, the Vault of Glass raid opened up for the first time in Destiny 2. Fire teams and Guardians have started diving down into the depths to be greeted with familiar feelings and new twists. Here's a quick teaser. Obviously, I think that you guys should go check this out. It was a lot of, like I said, it was a lot of fun doing the Vault of Glass. So there were some initial worries that a new bug may allow players to once again yeet and defeat Atheon. However, some additional testing showed that he has adapted over the years and is not as easily persuaded off the ledges. So for those of you who are not big into Destiny or are just getting into it, what they're referring to is back in Destiny 1, you were actually able to make Atheon step off the edge, and it was an instant win. However, there are some stuff that they may cover about how you can instantly beat Atheon right now, so let's keep going. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, we got a pleasure of watching along with the world's first race raged on over the weekend. It's always exciting getting to watch fire teams face off against new raid content. If you missed it, go dig up the VOD with your favorite creator to check out a replay of Broman and Wreck following the race with their raid day tailgate. So we did crown champions, so I want to give obviously a shout out to these guys because they completed it first legitly, I might add, and also did the Tempo's Edge triumphs. So congrats to these boys here: Cruz, Kairos, Moople, Quaz, Saltagrepo, and Slap. These guys, a lot of them have been a big proprietor in the community when it comes to speedrunning, and they've been doing this for a while. So congratulations to those guys. They worked really, really hard. Obviously no love lost for me. I obviously wasn't going to get worlds first. We tried. Well, my teams tried, but I digress. First off, congratulations to the world's first finish for Vault of Glass Destiny 2. Tell us a bit. This is basically an interview. Elysium is the clan. They are fantastic people. I highly recommend that you read through this interview. It's a wonderful interview. Yeah, I would just make sure that you guys, read it yourselves. I can't do it justice, so we're gonna go ahead and go from there. Alright, slow down. I'm just going to keep this short and introduce Sandbox lead Kevin Yanes to give you an update on Stasis on behalf of our gameplay team. So this is where they're going to actually talk about Stasis. First, let's chat about Stasis, our 4th damage type in Destiny and the newest to join the fold. Heard a lot of feedback about Stasis since its launch alongside Beyond Light in Destiny Season 12. And we've been using this feedback to help shape the future of the damage type. It's clear the vision we had for crowd control in PvE is succeeding, and players are finding it both useful and fun. We love how Stasis plays in PvE, and we want to preserve that experience. But we agree with many in the PvP community who say that Stasis is too dominant in the Crucible for too little effort or skill required. So, Bungie knows this, obviously. One of those things that a lot of us have been complaining about. Over the last few weeks, we've been open with you that we're taking this feedback to heart and working hard to reel in this great new power. We adore the long legacy of Bungie PvP games, and we want the PvP combat sandbox to live up to that adoration. This means we want the Crucible to be as fun as many players, or for as many players as possible, while also serving up those moments of skillful execution and incredible plays. It's a tightrope to walk, and frankly, we overcorrected during development when considering whether Stasis would live up to Arc, Solar, and Void. Stasis and crowd control are key components of the Destiny combat sandbox. They're not going anywhere, meaning it's up to us to ensure Stasis players well across all activities regardless of skill level. What you'll find detailed in the TWAB is a series of changes we believe will more evenly position Stasis alongside Void, Solar, and Arc subclasses as an equal option rather than a dominant one, while retaining what is fun about the ability set. Okay. I need a weapon. Since Forsaken, we've been slowly creeping towards a Crucible where it feels like gunplay has taken a backseat to our sweet cosmic magical powers. We believe this is the wrong place for the Crucible to be, and we want to shift the balance. To us, the Crucible plays the best when weapons and abilities have complementary usage in any given encounter. We set out to define what our vision looked like in the future of Guardian vs. Guardian combat and boiled down to a few key pillars. Weapons are the primary way players engage with combat. Non-super abilities essentially or augment the combat, but should rarely solve an encounter by themselves. Bungie, I can't read complicated words. Can you not do that? Abilities have clear strengths, weakness, and counterplay. Build crafting is rewarding within the moment-to-moment combat loop of Destiny. So they're basically working on it. So our first patch of the roadmap was released in March. Basically, this kind of details how they're going about it. So we're gonna talk about basically all the patch notes. So, oh wait, we got an actual like new patch stuff. Hold on, this patch is something we moved up from season 15 to help. Okay, so this is going over about how this was supposed to be in season 15, but they moved it up to the patch. Once the patch has shipped, we'll be diving back into season 15, where we are planning to deliver another balanced patch focused on updates with the light subclasses while continuing to iterate on Stasis. The goal here is to address some key pieces of feedback and make more of the light subclasses viable across the game. After season 15, things became a little more nebulous because we're still early in development. What I can talk about are our areas to focus to help paint a picture of where we're heading. We'll be looking at ability regeneration rates and redesigning how the ability energy economy works across the game. Our goal here is to keep the PvE experience largely similar to the state of the game today, but reduce how often abilities are used in the Crucible. So they know that right now PvE is really balanced, but the fact that PvP is an issue, they understand that, so they're working on that. I know some of this feels like a tease, and I hope to speak to you all again in the future when we have more to show, like Joe mentioned in the Beyond Light vid doc. Destiny's best days are still ahead of us, so this is basically just going over some of the stuff. And then, of course, we got some of the patch notes that they're going to be working on. These are some of the changes that are going to launch in Season 15 and 16. So, Stasis Freeze reduces generation of non-super freezes versus players to 1.35 seconds. Thank God. Hello. This freeze is too short to break out of, so breaking out is now only possible when frozen by a super. Reduce super weapons, heavy weapons, and light ability bonus damage versus frozen players from 50% to plus 5%. So basically, look at that difference. That's a tenth of what it is. So thankfully, they're focusing on to where stasis is overpowered, especially when you freeze. Stasis slow. No longer reduces weapon accuracy. Now increases weapon flinch when under fire. No longer suppresses class ability and air moves like Icarus Dash. Known to shoot the Stormcaller's Ionic Blink is still suppressed when slowed. We plan to address this in a future release. So this is, for all you Stormcallers out there, this is still being worked on. Reduced movement speed and penalty while slowed by 20%. Or by minus 20%. So that's actually really good. Whisper of Hendron's Fragment no longer increases weapon damage after freezing, now increases weapon stability, weapon aim assist, mobility, resilience, and recovery after freezing. Okay, so instead of doing bonus damage, it basically boosts everything else. So I think that's fair. Whisper of Rime Fragment no longer provides overshield while in super. Okay. Cold Snap Grenade. Seeker no longer tracks targets after initial target acquisition. Increased aiming during duration before Seeker spawns from 0.3 seconds to 0.8 seconds. Okay. Reduces detonation radius versus players from 3 meters to 1.5 meters. Now bounces off walls and detonates on the ground. Okay, that actually might be cool right there with the bouncing off of walls. That might be really, really fun. Titan Behemoth. Let's go ahead and go over this. Shiver Strike reduces flight and distance, or reduced flight, speed, and distance. Reduced knockback versus players. Removed slow detonation on player impact. Cryoclasm now requires the Titan to sprint for 1.25 seconds before activation when not in super. Reduced cooldown. Howl of the Storm. Reduced angle of initial freezing and damage cone. Reduced crystal creation freezing radius. Okay. Slow down sequence of crystal formation to allow victims more opportunity to escape. Now spawns a small crystal on walls if performed into walls. And then we got reduced heavy slam. Vertical freeze range versus players. Reduced damage resistance from 50% to 47%. Honestly, to me, the Stasis Titan was not that big a deal. Let's keep going. Alright, so Hunters. Withering Blade. Reduced slow duration versus players from 2.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Reduced Whisper of Durance, slow duration extension versus players from 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Reduces damage versus players from 65 to 45 after 1 bounce. Reduced further to 30 seconds. Reduced projectile speed by 10%. Reduced tracking after bouncing off of a wall. Okay. And that's just the blade that they throw, so that's not bad. Reduce our Winter Shroud. Reduced slow duration versus players from 2.5 seconds to 1.5. Reduced Whisper of Duration, slow duration extension versus players from 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Touch of Winter. The Cold Snap Seeker no longer has increased movement speed or travel distance. Cold Snap Seeker now spawns a small stasis crystal on detonation. Now, this, and I know Talon's going to hate me for this, but this was the one that I felt was the most broken. Let's see what they fix. Prenumbral Blast. Reduced tracking and proximity detonation size and tracking versus players. Reduced freeze radius versus players when impacting the environment from 2.7 meters to 1.5 meters. Thank Christ. I'm just saying. Ice Flare Bolt. Seeker now only chains once when spawned from a player's shatter. Freezing projectiles tracking strength now ramps down to 0 after 2 seconds of flight, and that's for Winter's Rim. I honestly think that's a good call. Again, it's one of those things where people think that, or some warlocks, Talon, think that hunters are overpowered, but honestly, I feel that with the ability to freeze in a 2.7 meters radius is ridiculous. So reducing that to 1.5, I think is fair. But yeah, well, let's keep going. Our new expunge mission went live this week as part of the new weekly seasonal quest. We hope you are enjoying direct infiltrating of the Vex networks inside the computer. We caused a bit of confusion on the rewards by referring to this as a weekly pinnacle mission and wanted to give you a better idea of what kind of sweet loot you could expect to extract from the new mission over the weeks to come. So this is going to kind of go over that. With the removal of seasonal armor in the season pass reward track, we still wanted to provide players with a way to earn a full set of high stat seasonal armor. So this is going to be this is the mission where you want to go in to get that armor, and you could possibly get very, very high statted armor. Upon first completion, we'll reward a seasonal weapon with the additional perk choice in the final. Ooh, okay. So expunge missions now, when you complete them, could also give you one of the new weapons, but with an additional perk on the bottom, so you could actually choose between the two. So that might actually be worth the farm. Starting on June 15th, a new Pinnacle Activity Challenge will roll out connected to expunge missions, providing an additional Pinnacle reward source each week of the remainder of the season. This coincides with an additional layer of replayability being introduced to expunge missions, along with unveiling the final 3 Splicer Gauntlet upgrades. Okay, so expunge is going to connect with the Splicer Gauntlet in the way of getting those last 3, and I wonder what those are. I can't wait. And then, of course, we got hotfixes, so let's talk about those. Here's a sample of the issues being addressed. The empty tank lost sector will correctly reward leg exotics when they are advertised. The gauntlets, these things right here, highlight those, will no longer obstruct a player's view when using bows and will appear again as intended. The Archon's Thunder Machine Gun and Riz Walker Shotgun will now be acquired from Lord Saladin. Iron Engrams, bounties, post-match Iron Banner rewards. That was a big thing, was that these two guns were not actually dropping They were only coming from the quest, which was a very big miss. Miss notes: remove glimmer cost to apply shaders. Okay, cool. Fixed an issue where players were unable to use the join command. Fixed an issue that prevented Riviere Dawn armor from taking shaders. Reduced the kill requirements to unlock Null Composure's Gambit ornament. Thank. Fixed an issue with the Contender Plate Titan chest ornament would not show up under Universal Ornaments to those who purchased the Guardians Games bundle. Okay. Single errors. They're still working on these issues that are going to be coming up. So let's go ahead and talk about these that they're focusing on. Shaders that came pre-built on armor, such as Iron Banner shaders, appear before the default option of the appearance customization menu. The grips of the Exile Hunter armor does not properly display the effects of the Magnificent Solstice gauntlets when used as an ornament. We are investigating issues related to several colorblind modes obscuring the oracles in Atheon's throne room. The Feast of Light perk on the Soul Eater Scales armor is not working as intended when stepping in the Well of Radiance. Obtaining Exodus Dawn armor does not count towards the Red War Collections badge. Some weapons that can be obtained from the gunsmith are missing masterwork slots, and the Cache of Carb chest in the Vaulted Glass may list incorrect perks on weapon types as available weapon caches. Now, I think that's wonderful. We got some good stuff that they're working on. These will be coming soon. But what do you guys think about this this week at Bungie? Are you excited about the expunge activity? Are you excited for the stasis nerfs? I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. But again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell to let us know that you guys are interested in this. And in the comments, let us know what you guys think. As always, guys, this is Tystra Daisetsu again, reading the TWAB for this week. And we will catch you all next week. Take care.